welcome to episode 75, part 1 of Kenya's premier sports video podcast, the 3 Quarters podcast. As usual, remember to jump onto the hashtag Road to Japan to support the Kenya Simbas as they are still looking to qualify for the Rugby World Cup in 2019 in Japan. I'm Jemima Duffield.
And I'm Nora Kamuya.
So today we talk about the commercialization of rugby in Kenya. Basically, we've talked about how it's been done in the West, and now we want to talk about how it can be done or how it has been done. In Kenya specifically. So just using examples like the Bamburi Super Series, the what's it called, the Safaricom Sevens, like let's call it Safaricom, but also Safari Sevens, because before it was the Tusker Safari Sevens, and more recently the Homeboys Prescott Cup. I'm just thinking from the point of visibility, like you just pump in a little money here and you're everywhere. I mean, if you look at things like just the name, the Tusker Safari Sevens, like at some point you couldn't say Safari Sevens without thinking Tusker, and then Safari comes and takes over, and now you forget Tusker existed. As in, that is how big like using sports for marketing is. It is.
That's one of the things. That's one of the biggest things about commercialization of sports. That's one of the biggest aspects about commercialization of sports. And if the Kenya Rugby Union wants to get to a point where they become self-sustaining and not depending on sponsors, the sport is running like a business, and their game becomes commercialized in Kenya, you have to pour a hell lot of money in marketing. Now, let me tell you what the shocking thing is. At the 2018 annual general meeting, of course, they have to read the financial statements of the audited accounts of the company, or rather of the union. And one thing was raised. They said they paid 19 million shillings for marketing for the year 2017. And I was sat there.
I find that funny.
And I was sat there with our producer, and we were asking ourselves, 19 million shillings for marketing? I haven't even seen 5 million worth of marketing in the last 2 years of the game, right? So, and marketing is one of those things that gives you a direct return on investment, because if you push the brand out there, then everyone wants to come and associate. And look, you're working with a brand that's very easily recognizable, i.e. the game of rugby. You can be able to push a hell lot of guys. You think about the Kenya versus Germany game that happened last year in May, and you're very shocked with the kind of numbers that we had attending that game. I think during the same annual general meeting, they had talked about the ticket sales that the amount that is generated from ticket sales. I think it was about 2 million shillings. So marketing has a direct return on investment if done well. And I'm just trying to understand where the 19 million shillings went. People will have to explain how those guys were paid that money, and that's for another day. So that's one of the things I think you can use to make money. I think about from a club standpoint, clubs need to start looking at these things as professional outfits. Like instead of sorry, before you go on, instead of looking at it from a lot of clubs go to a company or whatever, and they're like, they look at it, they present it as a CSR opportunity. And that is not what you're supposed to be doing. This is an opportunity for them. Yes, it's not what you're supposed to be doing. And how do you make it easier? I mean, very many guys want to invest in sports. The number of guys I've met over the years who have told me, I'd like to own a club, or I'd like to have some sort of ties to a sporting organization, are many. But it's because of the way our sporting organizations are structured, no one feels like there's going to be any sort of accountability, because if I'm paying my subscriptions to a club and we don't have an annual general meeting for 1 or 2 years, so how do I know how the money is being used? It doesn't make sense. So I think the clubs must start thinking about adopting the limited liability company route, where you actually have shares, and you actually allot shares to people who want to invest in sports. And because once you give me 100 million shillings, I give you a share certificate, then I'm accountable to you. I have to make your money. It's a return on investment. I have to give you back your money plus whatever markup or interest that you made off it. So I think clubs should start thinking about it that way, because then you move from the CSR route that many guys are taking. The next thing I'm thinking about is television rights. Bring in experts who do these things, because clearly you don't know whatever the hell you're doing. I was going to say something else, but clearly you don't know whatever the hell you're doing in terms of this TV rights thing. These things are very simple, and it shocks me the kind of people we have leading us in the sporting organizations. It's very easy to sell these things. It's very easy to build on such a platform in terms of selling selling the game. You have to polish up your own issues inside, but it's very easy to sell these games to some of the local TV stations. And if they buy, rights being 360 million, 600 million, those are the figures we're hearing people talk about.
I'm also thinking about the fact that, like, as a company, when you're thinking about putting money into a team, I mean, we are the same guys who sit down and say, oh, if Kenya had money to do this, if they had money for camp, if they had money for this, we'd be performing well. But you see, you are the guys who should put that money into the game, as a company. Yes. Now, when you put money into a game, like, let's say, a team, let's say something like Cabras.
Yes.
So you put money into, the team. Cabras put money into the team, and yes, you are known as Cabras Rugby team.
Yeah.
The team does or gets what they are supposed to get, whether it's training, whether it's coaches, whether it's in investing in players and recruiting players. They end up excelling, and then your brand is now associated with people that do well. I mean, to be honest, I buy Cabras sugar. I don't even know what Mumias is anymore.
Yes.
No, but I mean, people want to be associated with greatness. People want to associate with winners. But if you're not willing to invest in,
it's true, and guys sit down here and make noise about why isn't, and that's an argument that pisses the hell out of me when people start making noise about government bringing money. It's not government to bring money, it's the corporates to bring money. But at the same time, I understand where the corporates are coming from, because the people who are running these unions are just damn corrupt. This money is coming to them, and they're going into people's pockets. Our club is given X amount of shillings, 30 million shillings. The next thing you're seeing is that somebody is driving a good car or a new car. It doesn't make sense at all. So I do understand where the corporate organizations are coming from. In fact, if there's a way, like there's a rumor, I don't know how sure it is, I don't know how certain it is, but there's a rumor that was one of the reasons why SportPesa didn't come back, because they actually wanted to pay the players directly, but some people were not feeling that vibe. How true it is, I don't know. I can't say categorically that's the issue. But if we've had these stories, we have had these stories, and it just doesn't make sense to me. You're not there to eat. If you don't want to help the game, just get out. It's annoying.
Come watch the game, leave, go home.
Leave, go home.
Let someone who actually wants to do the job do the job.
Do the job, exactly. So then that's from the part you're saying about sinking in money, but I'm also thinking about merchandising. We really have not even scratched the surface when it comes to merchandising. Clubs can make a hell lot of money from merchandising. Kenya Rugby Union can make a hell lot of money from merchandising, and it's just an issue of come up with 2 tiers, good quality and for the masses. And I think you'll be able to push. You'll be able to push the volumes that you need to push. So that's another thing that I think the Kenya Rugby Union needs to explore. My last point, of course, is corporate governance. And while, yes, corporate governance was introduced by Richard Omwela in 2015, I think when he was elected in 2015, we have not seen the full effect of corporate governance. I was thinking about it, and I was saying, in a proper organization, the board is there to formulate policy, and the secretariat / the executive committee is there to run the day-to-day affairs of whatever organization it is. So in this case, the Kenya Rugby Union board should be there for purposes of policy, and the secretariat should be there to run the day-to-day businesses. The CEO should be one bringing in the big deals. Why is he sat there 24/7? I don't know if he's sat there, I'm just saying. But why aren't we hearing any of these things? So it's sad. It is. And the funny thing is, when you think about 10 years ago, when Bamburi Super Series was picking, when Safari Sevens was picking, everyone wanted to be associated with the rugby community. I think because of the professionalism that it was being run with. And then some guys just got into office, and here is where we are. And it's unfortunate, it's sad, but I think we can be able to get back there. I just think that we need very progressive people in the leadership of these clubs and the union. I mean, we need less of the type of people who say, I want change, and they get there and it's like they forget everything that they said before they got there. We need people who actually really want the game to progress and the game to sort of gain. It's about time that paying rugby or playing whatever sport should actually pay. That's true.
I mean, I'd like to know what people think. We're always hearing lots of comments. So now you should actually come to our pages and comment and tell us all of this, because we love getting insight from other people.
That's very true.
So guys, remember, you can do this by liking our page on Facebook, following us on Instagram, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. I'm Jimmy Wetterfield.
And I'm Nora Kamuya.
See you in part 2.